Got another JVC in. This is my favorite ones, of course, and I'm referring to the dynamic drum nightmares. And this one we get another one of these emulator boards for it. But the problem with this one is the gears are already broken. So this drum is shot. Good luck getting the alignment perfect. It's not going to happen because the drum is shifted. But there are other problems with this that I had to deal with, and someone's been into it before me. Let's check it out. I got another JVC. This is an HRS9800, another one of these dynamic drum pieces of crap, which is going to have the dynamic drum emulator put in place of it once we get the unit running. The fellow said that it just makes squeals on rewind, fast forward, etc. But well, it won't even load a tape here, so I don't know what's happened to it in transport. But it looks like the basket's going in crooked. That was just the start. So I don't know what happened to this on its way here, or whether the guy that owns it took it apart and didn't put it back together right and then sent it to me. The door wasn't aligned. I had to release the front cover because the door was jammed, so I know that it's been apart. So I guess I'll pull the mechanism down and see why it's not loading a tape. And we'll start there and see where we get from that, why it's not loading a tape. Yeah, I know someone's been in here because the screws are all very loose. You see? All the screws are loose on this thing. And that would explain why it's probably not put back together properly. Undo that, undo that one, and we'll undo the head drum. Note the time when I started on this. I was still working on it at like 10 o'clock at night. Front here as well. Here's our little shop of horrors there, the dynamic drum. Yeah, this right here, it's not riding in the track. Right here. This is supposed to be inside that track, and it's not. It's supposed to be inside here. It's out of the track. Gee, I wonder how that happened. That's better. Now I wonder if it'll work properly. Because the only way to find out is to reinstall the board and plug everything back in and see if it works. Well, I've got this unit apart. We'll clean the mode switch. There's a timing mark right here. Put some deoxin also onto the contacts here. Give them a little bit of a scratch there. Maybe you can bring the contacts a little tighter. Put the switch back together. And We'll spin it a bit just to polish up the contacts. Okay, mode switch is back in correct position. And put the chassis back into the circuit board. I don't even know why it's making noise yet. I just got to get the thing to run. Once I get the unit to run, then I can investigate and see what's really wrong with it. But unfortunately, I got to put everything back together so that I can test it, because I have to plug everything back in before anything's going to work. Once I get the unit to play, or at least accept the tape, then I'll be in a better position to determine what's going on. I don't think I need to have the front panel on to make it turn on. It's just the inputs for the SVHS. I believe the play button's on here, and there should be a stop eject. Yeah. So I can't do fast forward or anything. I can do play and turn the TVC on and off from the switches here and eject, but at least I can operate the unit without putting the front panel on. Okay, will it accept the tape this time? Help if I turn it on. No, it's not accepting the tape. Why not? Well, it appears that the loading motor is not even trying to operate. I just wound the mechanism in by hand. Oh, now it's trying to turn. Is the belt slipping? Well, now it worked. Initially, the loading motor would not turn. See, it's not attempting to turn on. It's like the mechanism's out of time. That's what it seems like. It seems like the mechanism's out of time. Oh, I really hate working on things that other people have been into. I really do. Because not only do I have to deal with an initial fault, but I have to deal with whatever the last person in here caused. It's frustrating getting into things that other people have been into. Okay, this little board is out of position. This is the record safe switch, and I believe that's what's used on these ones to actually initiate loading. Let's go in here. It clips in here somehow. It clips underneath this. And it sits on this little pin, a little locator right there. It snaps in like that. I think on this one, when the tape gets pushed in, it activates that switch. You see here? This is the record safe switch. Does double duty. But when the tape gets pushed in, it activates that switch, which is what initiates loading on these machines. Again, these are tricks of the trade, right? That the pro servicers know this stuff. But obviously somebody been in here because that was out of position and I didn't move it. So now it's back in position. Let's see if it'll load the tape. And to answer the question, yes, I am fully aware that I have not plugged in the head drum. I just want to see it load. Right? I want to see it load the tape. Once it loads the tape, then I'll plug the head drum in and see. Ah, look at that. Now it loads the tape. Now I can plug the head drum in and see if it plays. Well, it's playing. It's not playing properly. I'm just going to try to tweak the guides by eyeball and see whether we'll get the alignment right. Looks like an alignment issue is what it looks like. Like somebody's been in here screwing with the guides.
can hear the sound he's talking about.
That's the clutch, by the way, that's making that noise.
I love it how it keeps the sound going in freeze frame. That definitely looks like an alignment problem. Like one of the guides is way out of adjustment on this one. Oh yeah, that one's screwed down all the way. Who's been into this thing? I'll let you guys see what I'm doing here. I'm just eyeballing this on the monitor. Like we're nowhere near putting a scope on this yet. But we're getting closer. That noise almost sounds like the tape going around the drum. I'll show you where I am now. You see? Now I got a picture. Just by adjusting the guides. They were so far off. One that was screwed all the way down. Like it couldn't go down any lower. This is the difference between amateur hour and the actual pros that know how VCRs work. That was bad, but as you saw, I got it within a couple of minutes. We still do have the mechanical problem on this one though, because watch. I'll load the tape, but when the tape comes out, it tries to load it again, like it's not detecting that the tape is out. Eject the tape. I don't know if it's this little, might be that little switch is sticking. But I tried to load the tape again. I've been doing some investigating as to why this thing's not ejecting properly, and I think I've got it nailed down now. We have a bad end sensor on the take-up side. It uses the end sensor to detect when the tape has been lifted. I just rewound the tape, and as you'll see, it didn't advance. It's still showing the leader. That should have advanced forward. If I put it into rewind now, will it try to go to rewind? Yes, it will. Right, the leader is showing. This end sensor is not detecting light. This one is. If I go to the other end of the tape, now it's going to shut off now. If I go fast forward, it will go all the way to the end and it will rewind. So let's do that. I've already done it, but I'll do it again on camera. I've been staring at this thing wondering why the hell is this thing, when it tries to eject, it tries to load again immediately. And now it detects the end and it automatically rewinds. When it gets back to the beginning, it should do the same. When it detects the leader, the clear leader, it should reverse and wind the tape back so that the leader is not exposed. Now apparently this is a Franken VCR. The guy that sent me this, he's bought a couple machines off eBay that were non-functional, and he's been pulling parts off of one to make another one work. I have a feeling he's going to probably put this up on eBay and try to get $1,500 for it or something ridiculous. Like I say, these machines aren't worth anything. Even putting a $100 emulator board in, which is apparently what they cost, $100. These machines that were not a great machine to begin with. There's no parts available for them. They had an integrated loading mechanism, which was always lots of fun. Is it going to work this time, or is it just going to hit the leader? See? It doesn't detect the tapes at the end, and now it's going to shut off. That should wind forward, but it doesn't. We have a problem over here on this leader, on this pickup, and then the power shuts off, which it just did. Power just turned off, you see? So we have an issue with the take-up sensor on this side. So that means I got to pull the chassis again and give an inspection to see if it's come unsoldered from the board. That time it worked, so I have a sneaking suspicion it's a connection problem because it didn't jam that time. Now it winds forward. Yeah, I'll just hold on to this. I'm just pulling on the sensor here. See if it jams. It doesn't jam. I think we got a broken connection. Okay, well, let's pull the board yet again. I actually got to lower the mechanism down because I gotta pull the screws out that were missing that I put in. Good enough. We'll just do that for now. I gotta pull these two screws. These screws were missing right when this came in. And that's another way I knew someone had been into it, because two screws would hold down the chassis, which I just found a couple of screws were missing. Well, let's just pull that entire board and inspect. I bet the connections are cracked. It's winking at you. I do believe those connections are bad. We're going to do that one. I'll do the other one on the other side, even though it doesn't look like it's, well, it could be bad. I'll inspect it. But we're going to do those, and maybe this plug over here too. Well, it doesn't look as bad as the other one. Not cracked. But we'll do that, and we'll do the LED light in the middle. See, how they work is, on this chassis anyway, how this one works is it uses that record lockout switch. When you push the tape in, that gives it the signal to go, to load. When it ejects, it's watching for the end sensor to show light, so it knows that the tape has been lifted and it wasn't getting that signal. Tell you, this is where this camera has a big advantage over my older ones. This is the FDR X53, and it has the 20 times lens, and it really lets me get some pretty good close-ups. My soldering iron's looking like it's seen better days. It's okay. It still melts solder. And I've been on this thing for a while today. It's not like I just started on this thing. I've been on this thing all afternoon. The video doesn't show it. Just taking it apart and seeing what the hell's going on with it and why things aren't working, and trying to figure out what damage was caused by you know, other people sticking their fingers into it. My pet peeve, working on stuff that other people have been into. Because you just don't know what damage they can cause and what damage they have caused. Okay, this should go into play, which it does. And when I eject it, it should not try to pull the tape back in. Oh, look at all the dust and crap on my bench. That's how it's supposed to work. No more jamming. You see? That's how it's supposed to work. End sensor. I shouldn't say I've been working on this all afternoon. I actually have been working on it all afternoon, but I did take off for a while because I'm on holidays this week. So that's why I'm working during the week, because I'm on holidays from my day job during the week. I did take off for a little bit. I decided to go have lunch. So I hopped on the Harley and went for a little ride so that I could grab my lunch and then come back. So, but technically I've been working on this all day because I haven't accomplished anything else today other than this machine. And I started on it a couple of hours ago. I'm into it for a few hours anyway now, at least. Pull that out. Pop the dynamic drum out. Yes, the power is off. So now nothing's going to move, so we'll just spin this thing around. My pet peeve of the week is becoming AI. I hate it. Yeah, I've been playing around with it for making some music, but that's the extent. I hate AI. I hate everything about AI. And the one that's really pissing me off right now is this one that Google has put on my phone without asking me, called Gemini. And every time I open up my email, Gemini is suggesting responses to questions and stuff. It's like I don't know how to turn it off. I typed in stop and it says, okay, I'll stop bothering you until you turn it back on. And next time I open my email, the stupid thing's back. And I see this one, the board's going to fit because there's no capacitor sticking up on the board. So let me go grab one and we'll pop the module in. That's the unit itself. Basically, it's just a Raspberry Pi Pico, which is worth about $5. And he's loaded some code on there and put in 6 resistors and 2 LEDs and a header and made up a little board. But and he charges like $100 for these things. 65 euros, whatever that converts to. That's too much. Like a board like this should be no more than $50. Like if somebody brought me a machine like this and they said that and it needed this, and I told them it's going to cost me $100 plus shipping to get the part, and then I gotta replace it, so there's labor in there, and you're looking $250 to do it, they would tell me to throw the machine out. I'm dead serious. Around these parts, people throw machines away for nothing. Okay, just gonna pop this in here. We're going to take off this little circuit board on the bottom here, like we did off the last one. I'm not even going to bother to unsolder it. I'm just going to nip the little pins off here. Nip this off with my nippers. And then pop the board out. And this hopefully will install without any problems on this one, because this one's sitting a lot lower than the other one because of the way the other one was designed. This should just drop right back in, and it should go in there.
Nope, not gonna fit.
No, this is not going to fit, even removing the circuit board. There's still not enough clearance, so I'm going to have to do the same. I'm going to have to extend this one and bring it outside of the chassis, bring it out here and stick it over here somewhere. The other option would be, of course, to remove the gearbox, but I don't want to remove the gearbox because that's holding everything in the proper timing. You can see that the gears have already cracked on this. You see the crack in the gear there? I was thinking of taking apart the gearbox, but the problem is that the actual gearbox here, it holds these gears and these pins in place, and without the base on here, there's nothing to hold them in place, and the drum can actually shift. So I'm going to have to, like the other one, I'm going to have to make the extension cable and mount the emulator away from the bottom of the drum so that this has room to install. So I'll make up the cable like the other one, and we'll get that put through and plug it in and get this one back in service. We're going to put the wire under here. Turn it around. And plug the header in. This is the hardest part, getting these pins to line up. And that would hopefully get this one out of here, because I've been working on this one far too long today. Okay, the emulator board is installed. Drop the drum back in. Got the drum reinstalled, got the power on. So see if I turn it off and turn the power back on, you'll see the little lights will blink. Over here on the emulator, which I've installed over here. It should go into play and should play, well, hopefully perfectly. It's doing its self-tracking, video calibration, as it does the auto tracking. Well, there it is playing. I'll show you the scope. It's pretty good. It's not 100% perfect, but it's pretty darn close. I'll show you the scope. A little bit of a dip right there. I'll see if I can tweak that up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to tweak that up or not, because with that gear that's cracked, the dynamic drum is probably not perfect on this one. It's not perfect, but I mean, all I have to do is just touch the drum, the dynamic drum. Or, just touch the board on it. I mean, there's some play here, and that's because those gears are already broken. Right? There's some play. If you see that. All I'm doing is I'm just touching the top of the drum. So I'm just doing this. I'm just nudging the top of the drum. Like, I'm not even putting any pressure. I'm not trying to tilt it or anything. I'm just doing that. And it shifts a bit. But it's playing back. It's playing back in hi-fi. Waveform, yeah, not perfect, but it's not terrible either. I've seen better waveforms, but it's not terrible. At least the picture is good and the sound is good on it. Now, the unit's playing this tape perfectly. This tape's SP. EP tapes, on the other hand, well, that leaves something to be desired, because those gears have cracked on the dynamic drum, and the dynamic drum is not perfect. It's not in the perfect alignment position, and when I play an EP tape, I can't get it perfect. I've spent probably 2 hours now that I haven't been recording, and I can't get this thing any better than it is. And it's going to require the drum to come out and be manually realigned, or swap it for a non-dynamic drum. But yeah, that's the problem when the gears break. That's why these mechanisms were a piece of junk. If I put the EP tape in, we'll see how bad it is. I mean, it's bad. It's unacceptable. If it'll even play. Let's see if it'll even play. It'll do the auto tracking thing.
You're in charge of this investigation.
See what I mean? It's unacceptable. Here's the waveform on EP tape now. Let's say it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than it was, and here's the picture. So I've got it playing pretty good at this point. I think I'm going to have to call it a day on this one. It's not perfect. I mean, it plays SP tapes fine, no problem. I put an EP tape in, and due to the fact that the gears have cracked on the dynamic drum, and that is causing the alignment to be a bit off. And there's not really any way to get those back. All right, I just was chasing after a tape problem. I couldn't hear it so much. This is an EP tape that's playing now. I can't let this play. It was something recorded off TV, I guess. But this is just another tape that I found here. It was recorded in EP. I couldn't hear it when the AC was running, but I could hear this howling sound. And anyway, it was the tape. I got stiction on my Super VHS tape. It's breaking down and it's got stiction. It was sticking. This one here is just doing its self-tracking. That's the EP tape now. It's playing. Okay, I think I'm done. I'll put my Super VHS tape in, and you'll hear it. You'll hear the howl as the tape itself is sticking. This is just the basic Sony T120, that one. This one's a Super VHS tape. Listen to this. Oh, now it's not going to do it. This was actually making a howling sound, like a squeaking sound before. And if I just put my finger in here onto the tape, it went away. Like that, but louder. There, you can hear it. Hear the tape squeaking? This tape is starting to suffer sticky shed. And of course, when it does that, the tracking goes off. That's interesting. I never noticed that last time I played this tape. Put it on this one here. The tracking tracks up perfect on this one, or close to it. It's doing its auto tracking thing now. Looks like this take-up hub might be making some noise too. It sounds like a clutch. But it's playing that tape fine. And it's playing this tape fine as well. I think that's about all I can do on this one. Is it going to be perfect? No. It's not, because the cracked gears. But it is playing, and it seems to be playing okay. Turn the sound back on. So I'm going to leave this one at this point because I've put way too much time into this machine for what I'm going to make on it. It's working. This is an all-day effort on this one. And I figured it'd be done in a couple of hours.
It's like 10:30 now.
But I had to deal with a machine that someone had been into. I know that because screws were loose. One of the guides was cranked all the way down to the bottom, like it was cranked tight. And screws were missing. Screws were loose. Had to deal with that. And I also have to deal with the fact that the drum itself, I'm just touching it there, the drum itself, the gears are cracked on it, so it's probably not fully in the neutral position, even though it was when I powered it down. It's probably not exact, but it's close enough. Thanks for watching.